That prize also includes its airfare, stay at the Embassy Suites, and a pair of tickets also to the Brickyard 400 in Indy. So Isaiah Thomas right now very upset. He recalls his last game here in Phoenix. It kind of evaporated late. Isaiah was actually ejected from that game. And he's starting to get a little heated under the collar here tonight. 3 minutes to go in the third. Oh, and a push is called inside on Jermaine O'Neal. He gets only his first personal foul, but right now the hometown Suns are smiling. Timeout in Phoenix. That phone number or jump online at Ticketmaster.com. Pacers and Magic at Conseco Fieldhouse at 8 o'clock start Tuesday. Inside the final 3 minutes of the third quarter, Hardaway is stripped, taking it into dangerous territory with several Pacers lurking there. Bender against Hardaway, streaks by him and with the left hand, but it will not count.
Wow. Boy, that was a strong move by JB. And Isaiah can't believe the call. I thought the defender was very close to the half circle in front of the goal, which would negate any type of offensive foul call. The steal, good job by Ali to pull it back. And Bender, boy, tough call against the Pacers there.
Marley making the move with O'Neal outside. A rare two-point attempt for Marley this year.
And not his best shot. He's a much better catch-and-shoot guy, especially with his limited mobility as he's fought countless injuries over the last few years.
Oh, and a steamed Jonathan Bender comes right back and plucks the two from the outside.
So you think there was a little venom in that shot, huh?
That's good to see.
Yeah.
Inside 2 minutes, and we do have a winner. We have heard from Candace McDonald, so Candace will win a trip for two to Top World Indy 200 in Phoenix. Congratulations, Candace. Hardaway, no. Long rebound to Milt Palacio. It will stay there. So Phoenix getting the calls here in the third quarter. Come down to a minute and a half. And there are the two explosive starters of the Suns, Marbury and Marion, on the bench. 10-point night for Marbury, who's hit for 71 points in the last 2 games.
Well, he's been very selective in his shots tonight, really allowing everybody else to get off. But believe me, if he feels like he needs to go on his own, he will in that fourth quarter.
And that's the advantage Phoenix has going into a fourth quarter in a tight game.
Yep.
Stephon Marbury.
Yeah, he can get it done.
Phoenix has missed the last 6 attempts. Here's our test. Foster again from deep. 1 minute to go.
Boy, and Foster put his head down momentarily, Al, after he missed that shot, and that was just enough of a delay to allow Phoenix to come right down his throat in transition. He took the shot, missed it, and then put his chin in his chest momentarily, and then Palacio able to push it ahead.
And you have seen the difference so far tonight in this Phoenix Suns team.
Yeah.
Tony Delk and Rodney Rogers are gone. They figured they were going to lose Rogers anyway as a free agent, and they didn't have enough room in the cap to be able to sign him. So they essentially sent Tony Delk and get Joe Johnson and a first-round draft pick, along with Milt Palacio off the bench. And building the future, a young future now for Phoenix. With Joe Johnson, Stephon Marbury, and now they have to sign Sean Marion. They needed the money to be able to sign Marion, who is in his 3rd season, and his contract will be up.
You certainly don't want to let him go. That's the way he's performed.
Fake by Ali, and he walks in. A beauty by Kevin Ali. 46 seconds to go. Palacio from behind. It's Ali who flicks it away. Here is our test. Running, wiggling, weaving. Foster rips it down.
He was out of bounds.
Just a tough night for Jeff Foster, but Ron Artest taking it coast to coast, looking to tie the game. But Phoenix holds on by 2 and with the basketball. Hardaway with Ollie. Alton Ford gets bumped, and Foster takes it away. Indiana looking for the last shot of the quarter. Actually, a couple of seconds differential in the clock. There's the time remaining in the third. Pacers now have 7 seconds to shoot. Here's Foster. Can he conclude it with a long one? Yes. He goes to downtown. Foster, his first three-pointer of the season. Palacio throws it up and wide. So the Miller Light fourth quarter shootout. The contestant is Brian Dew, who says Ron Artest will score the first field goal in the fourth, and if he does, Brian will win an RCA Color TV. Phoenix starts with a basketball and a swoop to the hoop by Penny Hardaway, looking like the Penny of old on that move. He has 10 points tonight, coming off the bench. Now the Suns back in front. It's Ollie along with Bender in the backcourt, Brad Miller, Jeff Foster, and Ron Artest up front. Ken Maurer blows that one down. The call against Marley, who likes to dig into the trenches. He has picked up his third personal foul.
Well, he overdug into Jonathan Bender that time, and the official was right on top of it.
He dug through Jonathan Bender.
Not quite. JB did a nice job kind of holding his ground there. Growing confidence from the young fella.
Brad Miller makes the move on Sakalitis, then steps back and hits at the buzzer. So the quick hoop by Brad Miller. Well, Brian Dew had the right notion to go to one of the ex-Bulls, but it was unfortunately the wrong one. He thought Artest would score the first field goal. It was Brad Miller.
Well, how long will Frank Johnson go without Sean Marion, who has 4 fouls? As we take a look at Brad Miller knocking down that step-back baseline jumper.
Hardaway now with Artest closing in on him. Hardaway tries the other side, and that was pure defense by Ron Artest.
Well done. Just bodied up. Made it difficult for Hardaway to get a good look at the hoop.
Foster calling for the ball. Here's Artest, gets the foul, and showing you his strength, almost hit the shot. As Penny Hardaway draping all over Ron Artest, who is thick at 6'7", 245 pounds. And he has about 30 pounds on Penny Hardaway, same height. And Penny feeling the muscle of Artest.
And it's pretty much all muscle. There's nothing extra on Ron.
Reggie Miller is back in. Pacers once again looking for his late game heroics. He had 11 points through regulation in Golden State through 4 quarters. Then added 12 points in the 5-minute overtime to bring Indiana the victory. Artest makes 1 of 2 from the line. Indiana with the lead. Phoenix with the ball. Stephon Marbury, who tonight is 4 of 11 with 10 points. Hardaway goes baseline. Artest and Miller double team. Now it is Ollie with Marbury back. The trailer is Miller, and he's fouled by Bo Outlaw. So Indiana right now looking to conclude the game the way they began the game, when they outscored Phoenix 32-24 in the first. Brad Miller, Reggie Miller leading the way, and Indiana was clicking on all cylinders in that first quarter.
Well, if you go back to that first quarter, Al, they made it a little tougher for the Suns to score. Did a good job on the defensive glass and were able to get out and score.
Well, weeknight for Pacers getting opportunities from the foul line.
That was a big part of them getting that 8-point lead in the first quarter, but they've missed 2 of their last 4 from the line.
Marbury the dish. Johnson continues to miss. 1 of 9 from the field. Ollie, who directs traffic so well, gets it back from Miller. Ollie, the veteran of 5 years out of Connecticut. In trouble, Brad Miller. Now a little room for the turnaround, and he hits a softball on the rim. And Brad Miller with 17 points. That's what he's averaging as a Pacer. Indiana by 5.
And Frank Johnson still has not gone to Sean Marion until now. Sean Marion and Tom Gugliotta ready to check in.
Quick release by Marbury. Artest goes way upstairs for the rebound. Now it is Ollie hustling out. And Artest directing Ollie. He's directing Artest. Still the learning process, but they've ironed it out. Get it in the hands of Miller. He turns, he fires. And Bo Outlaw. Ahead it goes to Marbury. Takes a look. Artest getting back on Outlaw.
Well, they were both bumping into each other the whole way down the court, and Outlaw is hurt.
Fourth foul on Ron Artest. And we will have a timeout as Bo Outlaw hobbles to the bench. With 4.5 minutes to go in the third, the Suns led by 6. Since then, it's 13-2 for the Pacers. Before that outside shot, and continues to go for Tom Gugliotta. Now we have a foul in the backcourt. That's only the first, check that, second on Marbury. I'm at for the Pacers. Brad Miller with 17. Jonathan Bender and Reggie Miller have 13 apiece. Sean Marion with 18 to lead the Suns. Miller steps out from downtown. Loose ball, and it's taken by Gugliotta. You know, Reggie really struggled with his shot against Golden State until the overtime. Actually had a couple of open three-point looks in the fourth quarter that could have done the Warriors in early before his heroics in the OT. As Reggie said, you give me enough chances.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? Phoenix is starting to give him enough chances. Jamal Tinsley back in after his foot was stepped on. Ollie is out. Also, Foster goes out, and Jermaine O'Neal is in. And once again, Isaiah Thomas has that lineup of 4 starters and Artest. With Miller and Tinsley in the backcourt, Miller and O'Neal up front. 24-second violation. Indiana in this ball game has been out-rebounded 36-34. Phoenix also doing a good job on second chance points.
But the free throw game has been the Pacers saving grace.
As it was in Golden State.
Got to the line far more than the Suns, who only get there about 20 times a game on average, which is 28th in the league. So,
oh, the quick move by Tinsley. O'Neal is open.
Got to stay there. Zakalidis grabbing Brad Miller. Brad Miller 4th in the league in offensive rebounds per game. And you can see why there, because he's working prior to the shot being taken. He's working on carving out space on that weak side board. 75 to 80% of the shots are going to miss opposite from the side which they're taking. And Miller was working hard on that weak side glass and earns 2 shots at the line.
And our ATA High Flyers demonstrating graphically what Special K is talking about. Brad Miller, offensive rebounds, even ahead of Shaquille O'Neal, who he'll be meeting tomorrow night. This is the first time they'll actually be playing against one another since the roundhouse right by O'Neal targeted for the head of Brad Miller when Miller was a member of the Bulls. The Bulls who were 2-0 against the Lakers this year. Second game, of course, Shaq did not play because of the toe injury. Marbury hits a 3.
Boy, that kind of shot there is just one. Defensively, you're saying that's a pretty good job until it hits the bottom of the net. Tough shot by Marbury.
Artest, it squirts out of his hands, and it will be Phoenix ball. So Indiana's muscle inside being met now by the quickness of the Phoenix Suns.
And the marksmanship. They've made perimeter shots, especially since the second quarter.
Marbury looking to heat up here in the fourth quarter to bring it home for the Suns. O'Neal pitches it out to Tinsley, weaving through traffic. There's the time remaining in the fourth. Tight ball game in Phoenix. Second of this 4-game road trip for the Pacers. Tinsley from deep. Ripped down by Artest. Tinsley missing for the first time tonight after hitting his first 4 from the floor. Tinsley with a heave. Frankie Johnson yells out no, and Mark Davis, the official, yells back yes. It is a foul on Phoenix.
Frank Johnson has come out of the jacket. Fiery competitor and a very solid player during his playing days in the NBA. And Tinsley, alligator arm that one. Boy, he barely grazed iron there.
Fouls on Marbury is third. Pacers have now missed 6 of their 24 foul shots, but they have outscored Phoenix from the foul line 19-3.
They missed 3 here in the fourth quarter, Al, that I can recall. Not often how you miss, but when you miss them.
Marbury reaches out. 6 on the shot clock. Zakalitas is short. And it's rebound number 8 for Brad Miller, leading the Pacers in that category. Jeff Foster on the bench has 7. Inside 6 minutes as you take a close look at Jamal Tinsley. Brad Miller working on Zakalitas, goes up and under and hits, and he is fouled. And a chest bump between the new teammates and a standing ovation from the Pacer bench and a timeout called by Phoenix. So a big hit here by Miller, who could complete the three-point play, looking to give Indiana a 6-point edge.
That's negated the fact that Phoenix has gotten up far more shots from the floor. As a matter of fact, 15 more field goal attempts for Phoenix. But the Pacers have shot a better percentage, 49% thus far, while Phoenix is at 46. And then the free throw difference, huge, 20 of 26 now for the Pacers, only 3 of 8 for the Suns.
Suns having their difficulty finding the basket right now.
And they're basically a perimeter team now, so you don't have the post-up game that the Pacers have shown. So when you settle for jumpers, you're less likely to draw fouls.
Miller and Zakalitas battling inside. That was the 4th foul on Zakalitas. Reggie Miller baseline. Brad Miller is open for the little jumper. Jermaine had a piece of that one, but it goes back to Phoenix. Suns with a record of 16-13 on their home floor. Still have an outside shot for a playoff spot in the West, but 4.5 games out of the last spot. The unfriendly roll eventually. Jonathan Bender is back in. Starting 5 reunited. Miller, he shoots. And Reggie looking for a crusher with that one. Marbury against Miller. No. And O'Neal is there. And Reggie Miller kind of upset at himself. He knew the significance of that one if it went in.
Well, he's done it time and time again throughout his career, and still has time if the opportunity presents itself here tonight. But he's missed his last 2 good looks at three-point shots.
Reminiscent of the Golden State game before he made the next 2. There is a giveaway, and Hardaway is fouled outside by Miller. So the Pacers, with a 6-point lead, have had 2 possessions that have gone dry.
Well, a missed three-pointer from Reggie, which was a good look, and then the turnover as Bender and O'Neal just miscommunicated. The Suns have a chance to get rare points at the line.
Well, with the rookie Joe Johnson, who stepped in the starting lineup since coming over to Boston, struggling, here's the veteran Penny Hardaway now working off the bench in there late in the 4th quarter. Hardaway, who's averaging 14 points per ball game.
Solid night tonight off the bench for Hardaway. As you take a look at Joe Johnson, who for the 2nd consecutive game has really struggled from the floor.
In San Antonio, last game was 2 of 10. Tonight he has hit 1 of 9. Inside, and that brings Frankie Johnson off his bench. It's going to be against Penny Hardaway. And what they're so concerned about is it puts Reggie Miller at the foul line. Brad Miller at the other end has been outscoring the Suns all by himself. First game as a Pacer, he broke the ice with 21 points. Tonight a new Pacer high with 22.
Well, he's really solid, Al. I mean, like I said earlier, he can shoot the face-up jump shot. He knows how to use his strong, wide body down low. Pretty good foul shooter for a big fella. He's a space eater with a nice touch. That's a heck of a combination.
Space eater is becoming a stat stuffer.
There you go.
As a pacer. 6-point lead for Indiana.
A space-eating stat sheet stuffer.
O'Neal gets up there, and Indiana with the ball. It was O'Neal who had 7 block shots against Golden State, and 5 of them came in the fourth quarter in the overtime, and he comes up with a big one there. Miller off the screen. Back to Tinsley. Rises from 3. Brad Miller inside. He hits, and he is fouled. Brad Miller cruising inside. And Sakalides has his 5th. Just moments ago, it was Miller hitting a key three-pointer inside to provide a little cushion for Indiana. And now he could give the Pacers a 9-point lead with his foul shot. Just muscling his way.
Well, the Suns overshifted defensively to the ball side. That left Miller by himself on the weak side. And he converts another traditional, conventional three-point play.
He has made his last 4 foul shots. He now has 12 of his 24 points in the fourth quarter. Some of the fans working their way towards the exits. Jermaine O'Neal with 3 minutes to go. Rebounding tonight, Brad Miller with 9, Jermaine O'Neal with 8, Jonathan Bender with 7, Jeff Foster with 7. And now the Pacers lead the Suns on the boards.
They'll try to look for Reggie Miller for the big-time jump shot, and an offensive foul is called. See, this is the time of the game where Reggie loves to be able to shake free and knock down
the rugged shoulders of Brad Miller pulling away here in the fourth. A look at what's coming to Conseco Fieldhouse. Big Ten women's tourney, the high school girls championship this weekend. Pacers come back in next Tuesday against Tracy McGrady and the Magic. That's an 8 o'clock Tuesday start. Then the Big Ten men's tournament next weekend while the Pacers are on the road. And then the Warriors and the Hawks in town here in March.
Pacers on the shoulders of Brad Miller have worn down the Suns a bit here in this fourth quarter.
A whistle inside. It will be against Indiana, against Reggie Miller, who gets his 4th personal foul.
The team's 5th. No, only their 4th. Only the team's 4th as well.
Suns have missed their last 7 field goal attempts, and a long shot by Marion makes it 0 for 8. And Indiana again with possession. There's the time left in the ball game. Pacers looking for double figures lead. They led by 10 in the first quarter. Miller steps back. Jeff, nice jumper, and it's flat off the iron.
Boy, he wanted that one. He figured that would have been just as good as a 3 to get the lead to double digits. But right now, the way the Suns have gone, nothing inside. Everything has been a jump shot, and most have been contested.
Hardaway puts some pressure on Indiana. Brings the Suns to within 7. We're inside 2 minutes. Brad Miller scored 13 of his 25 here in the fourth. Here is Miller. Baseline jumper. In and out. Suns still with some life here. Down to the final minutes. Hardaway. Zakalides. Oh, they have turned it over on a travel, but Gugliana comes up short.
Well, that's one they'd like to see Zakalides try to finish himself.
He was so wide open, he may have traveled.
Well, his feet weren't together. He didn't have his balance and wasn't ready to shoot it.
Tinsley, quick release, and he rattles the rim, and that just about has rattled the Suns out of this one. You see the reaction from the Pacer bench down to 112. Pacers with a 9-point lead. Hot shooting ball game for Jamal Tinsley. 5 of 7 from the field. 12 points, and it seems as if it's been some time since Tinsley is at double figures.
Well, his shot selection has been splendid. He has not forced one shot. Everything in the flow. He's distributed the ball well. There you see his numbers.
Jamal has done it on 7 shots. Reggie Miller at 13 tonight. Saw a glimpse of Jermaine O'Neal, who has another double-double tonight. 11 points, 10 rebounds.
But you look at Jermaine's face the last quarter, how thrilled he was to see Brad Miller carrying the load. Takes a little bit of the burden off him and allows him really to be energized, I think, at the defensive end and on the defensive backboard.
Well, that's what he did against Golden State with all the blocked shots. So as I was going to say, against Golden State, 13 points, 11 rebounds. So he's getting into double-doubles without now having to dominate a ball game. Gugliotta hits that one from the outside. 92 to 85. Pacers trying to nurse the victory. Tinsley threw that one and banked it in. They're all going for Jamal tonight. Now he's upset that there was a foul.
Well, just knock down these 2 free throws, young fella, and you'll get the same numbers.
And as Tinsley waits for the foul shot, that is it for Brad Miller tonight. A fantastic ball game and a sensational finish. 25 points for Miller, 9 rebounds in 38 minutes. He scored 13 in this 4th quarter as the Pacers opened up the lead. Tinsley, though, suffers from the foul line where he's missed 3 of 4, and it's still not over. Phoenix, Hardaway, inside. They're looking for a 3. If they can hold on to the ball. 7 seconds to shoot, but they're eating up their own clock, and the miss. Here we go again. Marbury from downtown. Well, they got the 3, but really lost so much time off the clock. Reggie's going to keep it in his hands and gets the foul. But Phoenix has moved to within 4, and if Miller hits the 2 foul shots, it'll still be just a 2-possession ball game. So Frankie Johnson, the coat is back on.
He is so animated over there. Coat off, coat on, standing, spinning, sitting. Coach going to do that to you.
Reggie Miller, he's had many opportunities to put the Suns away. He has missed his last 7 field goal attempts, but continues to drill it from the foul line. It's been Miller time tonight, Brad Miller time, who gets set for his encounter with Shaquille O'Neal tomorrow night. Jermaine O'Neal is out. Kevin Ollie is in. Jay Thomas putting a smaller lineup out there to be able to harass the smaller Suns defensively. So Reggie Miller dials in 2. He has 17 points. Pace Sacramento ahead and trying to make it overall 3 in a row. Pacers trying to get by the teams that are under the 500 mark, the games that they have circled, try to get off to a good jump. And they're 29 seconds away from doing that before facing 2 of the best teams in the NBA. Brad Miller helping them to get there. Miller with 16 points, 15 rebounds in the game against Golden State. And a Pacer high 25 here tonight.
Boy, that was too easy. The Suns elected to go for the quick 2, stretch the game out a bit, and still be in a position, even if the Pacers make 2 foul shots, it's still a 2-possession game as you look at Brad Miller, who fouled out with another stellar performance, 25 points and 9 boards. A pretty good strategy there by Frank Johnson to say, let's go for the quick 2. The Pacers don't want to foul. They don't want to give up the 3. And yet you used only 6.5 seconds there.
Kevin Ollie, an 82% foul shooter, and Frankie Johnson is now revved up. The door ever so slightly squeezing open. Kevin Ollie's taking more foul shots than any of the Bulls coming over, and he misses the 2. Tinsley gets a hand on this. Here's Marbury will walk right in. It's a 2-point game. Trying to find Reggie Miller, but Ollie all the way. Oh, Artest with a foul. He bumped the defender out of the way. And Phoenix will have the ball. Ron Artest trying to help out his teammate Kevin Ollie, who is gone. What a turn of events.
Well, 2 quick layups, and the Suns have the ball with a chance to tie or win.
Timeout.
Yes, trying to help out a teammate, but overzealous in doing so. Kevin Ollie was already practically at the rim, didn't need any blocking interference, and there's the bench reaction of the Suns, 13.8, but missed free throws out, and then also the 2 quick layups by Marbury. That put the Pacers in this precarious position right now.
That's the first field goal in 6 minutes for the Suns. Marbury taking it in and hits. This ball game is all tied up. Well, for those who are still here in the stands in the America West Arena, they cannot believe it. A miracle has been sent their way.
That's 3 layups out. This is a tough one, but the other 2, one was given up too early at the 29-second mark. Artest not wanting to foul. No help comes. Boy, that's just too easy, Al. Way too easy. You know this is the guy who's going to try to penetrate and take the shot. You've got to be ready to have your defense come and help and make somebody else do it.
Marbury scoring those last 6 points to wipe out the deficit.
It was 94-88 at 29 seconds. The Pacers had the ball. Well, no, Phoenix had the ball. They inbounded, and within 5 seconds, Marbury got a layup. Ollie goes to the line. This is a free throw. This is 2 free throws, and here we are.
Here's the arithmetic. The Suns had missed 7 in a row. They've since hit 6 of the last 7, but it's essentially been a layup drill. Missed foul shots, and then Ron Artest with that. He got 2 minutes for checking with his man going in the open goal.
Well, even with all of that said and done, Pacers have the ball with 8 seconds to go. At worst, they play another 5 minutes. At best, they get a shot to win the game.
And reinserted Brad Miller, Jermaine O'Neal.
We thought Brad Miller had fouled out.
No, they just took him out.
Took him out, okay. Well, at least I thought he had fouled out.
Reggie Miller, Bender, and Tinsley will throw it in. Everybody standing here at the America West Arena. They cannot believe what they've just seen. Reggie Miller has it. Checking the clock. He makes the move. Double team. Jermaine O'Neal at the buzzer. And we are going incredibly to overtime. A 6-point lead wiped out in the final 29 seconds. All even at 94. And now not able to get out of Dodge easily or necessarily even with a win.
5 minutes will decide that.
Starting 5 back on the floor for the Pacers. Marbury is re-energized for the Suns. Miller getting away from Hardaway, and he hits Reggie, who had missed his last 7 shots. When you think of all the opportunities while the Pacers had started to build the lead up again late in the 4th, Miller's open shots, all the foul shots missed.
Never got it to double digits. Had they done that, it might have been over, Al.
Kevin Ollie all alone when Artest picked up that foul. Hardaway ties it. It's Marbury and Hardaway. Zakalitis in the middle with the 5 fouls. Giuliana and Marion. Marion playing with 5 personals. Miller steps back for 3. This will be on Jermaine O'Neal, only his 2nd personal foul. So will history repeat from Monday night? Will Reggie Miller take over again here in overtime? Reggie with his 12 points in OT was 2 points shy of the Pacers' overall record for most points ever scored in overtime. Butch Carter, in the mid-80s against the Celtics at 14.
I was part of that game. Amazing performance by Butch in that stretch.
This one's against Zakalitis, and that is nighty-night for Jake. That's his 6th personal foul.
That's who I thought should have fouled out earlier. Not Brad Miller, who only has 1. But Zakalitis, who has his 6th now.
Well, no, it is a 6, but he's remaining on the floor.
Well, Frank Johnson just taking some time to decide who will replace Jake.
Goes out with 9 points and 10 rebounds. And 3 block shots for Sakalidis.
There he is crashing into Brad Miller in his effort to get to the offensive board.
At 7'2", 285 pounds. From the Republic of Georgia, former Soviet Union, moved to Greece at the age of 15, played pro ball there. Bender, stutter step. Bender, wild dribble, and loses it out of bounds. So Jonathan, a couple of costly turnovers. One late in the fourth quarter. Isaiah Thomas having a very difficult time digesting what is unfolding here in Phoenix tonight. Gugliotta, another open shot. 9 field goals in 14 attempts, 18 for Gugliotta, and the Suns lead. O'Neal, 2 men on him, and he goes over him and ties it up at 98.
Stops and then pounding it inside, I think, are the way for the Pacers to prevail.
First meeting of the season between the Pacers and the Suns. Suns will be in Indiana April 5th. 2 games of the season series between Eastern team and the West. Marbury takes it outside and goes inside. 24 now for Marbury, who had 10 points going into the fourth quarter.
Well, we talked about how explosive he is. And Brad Miller just not able to get that pass to Jermaine O'Neal. Two-man game with Hardaway and Marbury.
Marbury the shovel. 7 still on the shot clock. Again, nobody on Gugliotta. Oh, Penny Hardaway at the right place at the right time. And the Suns now by 4. Reggie Miller trying to dart away from Penny Hardaway. Tinsley for 3, off the mark. That should be on Bo Outlaw. He had tied up Brad Miller, and that's exactly the call. Outlaw number 4. Frankie Johnson really bringing the animation off the bench, looking for his 3rd victory against 4 defeats as the new head coach of Phoenix. Indiana in a must-score situation here to close to within 2. Jonathan Bender rises for a 3. And scrapping for it, Miller and Hardaway and Tinsley, they're all there, and they'll jump it up. Phoenix Suns showing you the kind of basketball now under Frankie Johnson. They have been playing very hard, although they've lost 4 of their first 6. Just had a home-and-home with San Antonio, splitting with the Spurs. And they never quit on this one, although the door was certainly opened up for them by the Pacers, who have missed seven foul shots in the fourth quarter. But then you have to think of that cross-checking foul by Artest as the pivotal play in the late stage of the game. Tinsley gives up the foul there with 1 minute on the nose. The 3rd foul on Tinsley.
And that guy there, Stephon Marbury, has taken over.
Quiet through 3 quarters.
And we talked about it during the 3 quarters, that in a close game, he's got the ability to get his team back in it and make plays. And shots he did.
The dish to Marion. And now it is all Phoenix. They have outscored the Pacers 10-4. Doesn't
have to be a 3.
O'Neal goes from downtown, and Indiana just unable to recover from the fourth quarter collapse.
I think you're exactly right, Al. I think you're exactly right. It took so much out of them that they weren't able to regroup and get locked in. And it gave so much momentum to Phoenix that they just rode it into and through this overtime.
And so the Pacers, who were sitting on winning the first two games of this Western swing, and this completely turns the complexion of this trip around, now headed to the Lakers and the Kings.
Oh, they've got to do a quick regroup. And boy, you just don't know until tomorrow how they're going to respond, Al. It's a real test for this group.
Timeout taken. 32 seconds left. Pacers have an 8-point mountain to climb. Biggest lead for the Suns.
I play center.
Against Shaq and Kobe and the Los Angeles Lakers, the two-time defending world champions. Coverage begins at 10:30 tomorrow night right here on WB4. Pacers led 92-83 with a minute 12 to go. They missed 4 of their last 6 foul shots and outscored 11-2 down the stretch to force the overtime. Brad Miller, when he left the floor triumphantly, what a great night it appeared to be for the Indiana Pacers. 25 for Miller tonight. And that should just about do it. Will they foul? Yes. And this is as big a shocker that we have seen in years.
Without question, yeah. I mean, I feel empty. When you come on the road and you play well enough to win, you seem to have it in your hands, and then it slips away. Well, that's a major gut shot out, to use a fighting analogy. I mean, that's a...
Well, Pacers never got off the canvas after they were knocked down here in the overtime. It's a question of whether they gather themselves and respond more emotionally tomorrow night against the Lakers. And here in this overtime, Indiana outscored 13-4 by Phoenix before Tinsley walks in. And that shot, very reminiscent of the shots Marbury was getting in the closing seconds of the fourth quarter. And Frankie Johnson has just picked up the improbable. Isaiah Thomas walked off after watching what he thought was the impossible. In overtime, the Phoenix Suns come back to defeat the Indiana Pacers 107-100.
Very good. On the bad side, though, they were out-rebounded 7 per game.